In this video, we're going to cover how to access the internal factory settings and adjust the speed of the servo motors on your machine. So initially we're going to go into our setup here, which requires a password of 4/8. And this takes us to our main control screen. And just a reminder, we have our Z-axis setting for our mount position at 185, and the mount position again is the depth from the head's home position down to where the pickup tube touches the top of your BGA component or whatever component you're removing. So you always set that depth for each board and profile that you set up. You'll have a mount position, and that's dependent on the thickness of your board and the thickness of the component. And the reason you want to have set your mount position is you want it to go down far enough to pick up your component, but you don't want it to go down so far that if for some reason it didn't sense the component, that the head's going to crash into the board. It's a safety net or a safety stop basically. And then this is our Z-axis position here, and that's just the current position. It's in home position, so the Z-axis will be 0. For the top and bottom heaters, you have a real temp reading and a PV reading. So the real temp will be the actual temperature of your internal thermocouple, and the PV reading will be the present value of what the heater is heating at while the profile is running. Same thing for the IR. So you have top, bottom, IR, real temp, and present value temp. So we're going to move into setting the motor control settings for the servo motors. So for that we have to access our factory menu, and so we're going to go what you do is you just keep clicking the upper left here until your box comes up, and then we're going to enter our password. And what we want to do is we want to go to our motor perimeter settings. And so before you change any of these settings, you want to take a picture of this, because some of these you don't want to change the settings. And we're just going to explain what you can change. So up here, these are my servo motor speeds. The X and Y are for the camera movement, left, right, forward, backward. And they have it 5 millimeters a second. I like it at about 3.5 or 4, so I'm going to set this at 4 for now. The Z-axis high speed, Z-axis low speed is the movement of the head up and down. And so what happens is, in your manual controls, you can select high and low speed when the head's moving up and down. And so we have the high speed at 5, which is okay, and then the slow speed is a 0.3. Now if we're working with really small components, like 1 millimeter or less, we might want to lower that. 0.3 right now for larger components is fine. My R-axis is the speed of the servo motor that rotates the component clockwise and counterclockwise. Again, I may want to adjust that for larger or smaller components. Right now 75 is a comfortable setting. We have a lower speed position setting, a lower lead limit setting, and basically this just tells the motor when it's coming down to the chip, when you get 175 millimeters from the home position, to slow down. And usually that's good enough. You can make it a little bit lower, but I think 175 is good. I wouldn't change that. Your lower limit position setting, that's how far you're going to allow the head to go down maximum. So I'll leave that at 195 for now. This height heating setting heating that's actually your rebound. So when it goes down and touches the component, and then it'll come back up, and it'll leave a space between the component and the pickup tube and the component. And I'm going to leave that at 2.5. I like 2.5. So 2. Come on. We're going to do that. So that just allowed me to change. All these other settings won't change because those are telling the machines like where to go. They're already calibrated and perfected, so don't change those. But like I said, what you can do is just keep a picture of your original screen settings, and if you want to keep a picture of what you changed it to, in case you ever want to go back to your old settings, you have it available. Over here again, it's just like your manual controls. You have your manual controls, and so when you change your speeds, you can go ahead and test them out and see how fast things are moving here. So just so we can see an example we're talking about. So once we change our speeds, we can test them. So I can move my camera to the right, and as I move my camera to the right, it'll tell me what my X position is from home. If I go all the way back to the left, it's going back to home. Home is 0. Same thing Y, so this is the camera out. It tells me how far out it's moving. And back in to home. Put both these on 0. Okay, and then this is my head position. So if I want to move my head down, and that's what I'm saying. So what we do is we manually move this down. We can move this down to touch our component. And once we find out what our component height is where the pickup tube touches it, then that would be our Z-axis position. Then when we're setting up a profile, we would go back in our profile and set our Z-axis position. So let me just give you a quick look here. So say if I want my Z-axis position to be at, or let's say I moved it down, and it stops at, about 187, 189. I can quit this. I'm going to go back to my temp setting, and over here I would put that Z-axis setting. I would program it right here. Okay, and we're gonna have a let's escape, exit. So we're gonna have a Z-axis setting for every different board. We'll have we'll change for every different board we'll input the Z-axis setting for that board and that component, and for every component we'll input the component size. So that's quite simple. I think, like I said, the only thing you're going to want to mess with, depending on your component size, your board size, are your these settings up here. And I usually set everything. It's pretty versatile. Everything's set when we deliver it to you. So this is just for special requirements. So you'd need to contact me for the password and more info on this. Thanks for watching.